Namaste, everybody. We have next session starting is the Missionaries and Conversion Factories, Jesus and Bible as Weapons of Conversion. We have Sri Koti Sreekrishna ji. He has co-authored 3 books on Bhagavad Gita, and he's been very actively writing various articles, on the Hinduism. And he's a religious counselor for Hindu Society of Greater Cincinnati. Welcome, Dr. Koti Sreekrishna.
Namaste. Namaste for all the organizers for giving me this opportunity, and also for Anjali Swamiji to connect me with this organization. You talked about translated Bhagavad Gita. It happened about 15 years ago. My nephew in Bangalore, I asked him, well, when a missionary or a mullah tells you, I have a very simple and easy way, why not just convert? It's so simple compared to multiple paths in Hinduism, and we really don't have an objective instruction. He said, well, I will tell them, Swadharme nidanam shreya. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha. Paradharmat anushtitat. Swadharme nidanam shreya. Paradharmo vayavaha. I will tell him that. I said, that doesn't make much sense. And that verse is not even translated like that. Swadharma just means to stay with whatever your inclinations are. It is nothing to do with religion. Why don't you tell them that? They tell you that you don't need any background. Even the gravest sinner can come to Jesus or can accept Allah as the Prophet Muhammad as the final messenger, and you accept and you are done. Then now, why all this circus, I asked. Then why don't you quote the simple verse of Bhagavad Gita? Apichetsu duracharo vadate mamananyubhak sadureva samantavyaha samyak vyavasito sisaha kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvatsantil nagacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati and sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja ahantva sarvapapebhyo moksha ishyami mashuja. So Krishna actually knew that we have these people will come someday to India, these mullahs and missionaries, to sell us a very easy way of salvation. He already gave us. Unfortunately, we are not instructed. And my nephew is raised up in a nice religious setting, but still this objectivity was missing. Anyway, we collaborated, and he knows better now. Anyway, talking about the missionaries in India, as such, we have about 28 million Christians in India, out of which 78% of them are Roman Catholic and 22% are Protestants. In fact, most of the Protestants are almost post-independent. A lot of American missionaries, they go and proselytize in India. I gave a lot of presentation to local church as a council for religious society here. And I noticed that every one of the churches I talked to, they have an idea to send missionary work in India. They're all very active, especially in the tribal areas. And this has been the part of their religion. To tell Christians not to convert is like telling a Brahmin not to do Sandhya Vandanam. That is the problem. So that is a requirement for them. As a religious part of the religious requirement is to proselytize. And unfortunately, it's a tough thing for India. We gave freedom of religion, but we never understood that all religions are not same. Each have different agenda. Hinduism is not against any religion, but the Abrahamic religions, especially the Islam and Christianity, are directly against Hinduism. And they proselyte. They have no, at least the Christians proselyte a lot. Islam is mostly by reproduction, and Christianity is mostly by conversion. And the conversion rate in India today is about 3.9%. That is the highest conversion rate anywhere in the world. And their goal is to convert almost all India. In fact, when Pope John Paul was national guest, He said he greeted on the eve of Deepavali Day. He greeted us the Festival of Lights, and he said that India is ready for harvest. Many people didn't even understand. They just started the harvest season. Deepavali time is the harvest season, and that's what he's telling them. So this is how naive we are. And in fact, there is you might have heard of Joshua Project. They have charted out, they have analyzed India so carefully. They say that there are 2,554 groups. All Indians can be divided into this many groups. You can call them as sects. There are 2,554, and they're saying that 2,289 of them have not been reached by missionaries. So there is a lot of work cut out for missionaries, and Joshua is basically giving them the logistics. And they are the ones who said the conversion rate is 3.9%. And their goal is at least a small percent from each one of this group must be converted to Christianity. When during the second coming of Jesus, their goal is that every community in the world must have a Christian in it. You know how if you have one Christian, what happens in a particular community? It spreads, right? It's almost I equate them to like the termites. So because there's a goal, I am not telling them they're wrong. It is their religious zeal that is a requirement for them. Unfortunately, India did not plan for this. We gave them religious freedom without even understanding what it is. We should have made some rules, some regulations against it. We have freedom to have sex, but prostitution is illegal in India. So we could have told that, sure, you can follow your religion, but proselytization is simply is not allowed. They could have done something like that. I really don't know how to. I will come back to it at the end. And in fact, not that we are not aware. In fact, Swami Vivekananda made an observation that when a child joins a school, at that time all the schools were actually British-run schools. They were started by them. They tell you that the child is told that your father is a fool, your grandfather was a lunatic, and all the teachers you had in your traditional teachers, they were all hypocrites. And so by age 16, now we have a teenager there who's just a mass of negation, and he's lifeless and spineless and boneless. This is what Swami Vivekananda observed. And Mahatma Gandhi said that in India, every region of the world has its religion, and they consider those religions as superior. And India has plenty of those opportunities. There is no need for any alien religion to infect us, to spread here. But still, nevertheless, we gave full freedom, and um, they use, unfortunately, what has happened is they use highly unethical means. That is the tragic reality. I'm not telling that every missionary in India, every Christian is like that, but a lot of missionaries, we are really into harvesting souls. They use highly unethical means. I grew up in Bangalore, and I was going by cycle to Central College, and I drove in, I ride in cycle in front of Satya Veda Institute. Satyaveda. There is someone a Satyaveda. How can you let someone call Satyaveda? Veda means to us something. We never call the Hinduism as a Satya Bible. Satya Bible is just a book, but Veda is again a knowledge. But the term has some speciality. We could have insisted them that it should be Jesus Veda or Jesus Satya Veda, not just Satya Veda standalone. But this kind of subtle things they do, but now it is more open. In fact, they have Jesus Sahasranama, Jesus Ashtottara, there's Bharatanatyam dance portraying life of Jesus and other themes from Christianity and the Old and New Testaments. And they have basically incorporated, if you look at, they make it like a Dwajastamba, they have the Kalasha, they have Jesus. It's very hard to tell, especially in Kerala. It's very hard to tell the difference between Jesus and any of the Hindu deity. Finally, the cherry on the top is Jesus. That a lot of people don't realize. So this has been unfortunately picking up, and there is, as we know, there is most of the northeastern states of India are pretty much converted to Christianity. Some of those states are almost 98% Christian. And when Shankaracharya, the previous Shankaracharya of Kanchi, we call him Periyavar, and he wanted to visit Nagaland. Nagaland people said, no, we don't want any Shankaracharya to come here. He can come as Tom, Dick, or Harry, but there is no Hindu. Why do you want Shankaracharya here? But the same token we didn't use for Pope Paul. He was a national guest. And another Pope visited, appreciate what Swami Chinmayananda did. He visited Kerala, and he gave his presentation was on the Kovalam beach. They had built a podium for him. Then Swami Chinmayananda insisted the podium you build should be dismantled within 24 hours. After the Pope has delivered his sermon, it should be the podium should be gone. Otherwise, what will happen is the Kovalam beach will become a kind of a memento for Pope visited here, so they will raise a structure. The Kovalam beach is a prime property, so it becomes like a sanctuary for Christians. So they build a memorial, and who knows, they can build a big church too. So it could be a little Vatican there on the Kovalam beach, in a way that our Chinmayananda, Swami Chinmayananda ji was proactive. And there are examples of proactivity. So as you know, Vivekananda Memorial was where Swami Vivekananda meditated. Was actually Christians had put a cross on that. They wanted to build a church. So then there is a single person became proactive, and he fought for it. And finally, we have the Vivekananda Memorial there. And when I went to Kanyakumari, I could not go to that because that is most of the people who take you by boat, they are Christians, and they had some kind of a strike or something. They didn't want to ferry me, so I could not go to the place, unfortunately. And that is one good sign where we fought something and God climbed something, being proactive, even though if it's by a single person. And the other one is in the Bangalore itself. It's a place called Ragi Kudda in 9th Block, Jayanagar. We used to go and play on that. And there, basically, they want to put a cross, and they wanted churches of South India wanted to build a building, a church there. And most of the local people are very happy. Oh, church people, they will do a good job. They develop very easily. Yeah. Today, Ragi Kudda, the temple was they installed a small Anjaneya. That is the RSS people, actually, RSS and Vishwa Hindu Parishad. They installed a small Anjaneya. There was really no Anjaneya. They said, oh, there was an Anjaneya. And actually, they put a little pendal. And then finally, that's one of the most beautiful temples there. Now, the Ganesha temple there. And there are a few other deities. Hanuman is on the top in Ganesha temple they built. And that's one of the very good temples in Bangalore. It is even in places to see in Bangalore. So these are all some where Hindus have shown some being proactive, even if it is by a small group. And these kind of things is extremely important. And the other one is in the Sanjay Nagar also. Same way, when a new development is made, they have given right to build a public place. And my brother was in the colony there, and he found out that Christians were planning to build a church. Then these people went in the midnight, and they got a little idol of Radha Krishna, and it's a Radha Krishna temple. Sanjay Nagar Radha Krishna temple is very famous. It's a Radha Krishna temple. Bus stop is there, and next to that is police station. It's a good landmark for Sanjay Nagar. So these are some signs where Hindus have been proactive.
So speaking on those signs, there are broadly two space: no conversion space and anti-conversion space, where the people are, Hindus are active. Mission Kali, Save Temples, Swami Paripurnanand, and Agnivir. I'm not sure if you're familiar with all these names, and I'm not sure if audience is familiar with this kind of names. Would you like to throw some light on that no conversion space, and later on anti-conversion space as well, Arjun and Kalawai Venkatji?
Yeah,
The ones they're doing.
Yeah, it's very nice. There is at least some people are not had their head buried in sand. But although the majority of Hindus is still very, very unreactive, and
Basically, what could we do?
That's
No
a
conversion space.
unfortunate, including, I still don't know why the government has not taken over the lands that were given to Christians. In 1890, British gave a lot of land on 100-year lease to all the prime cities. Every city as the prime location was given to Catholic Church at that time. And the lease expired in 1993. Neither the Supreme Court nor the government has done anything. It is still in their hand. And recently what happened was in Bangalore Metro project, and one of them, the metro station comes in the cantonment area, it's the old Richmond, and there is a church called All Saints Church in Bangalore. They sold the land which they don't own for 600 million rupees. They did not own this. Actually, it was owned by the defense, Indian defense. Then the police finally found out, and now they have billed them for $8 million, and they are fighting a case. This is just hot, like this is happening as I'm talking now. So this is how they had 1.5 acres. Land is so precious in India, especially in the prime locations. And why our government, this is completely legal. It is completely legal to take back the land you had leased to them. It's a
So
government
Supreme
property.
Court will go with the law of the land, right? They will interpret the constitution and do that. So that is the duty of our legislator in India, like
Yeah,
lawmakers, right?
it
So
is
why they are not
completely
taking
legal.
these
Yeah,
issues?
you don't
Yeah,
even have to
why they are not making these laws?
you don't have to change any rules. You just have to enforce the rule. Because
Okay,
if even the British was there, they would have either renewed for another 100 years and done something. Why
right.
are we that kind of unreactive? That's a very unfortunate thing. And at least I am glad that somebody, police went and billed them for $8 million now, and which is something. At least some people are paying attention. I don't know whether it is due to the BJP government in Karnataka. I don't know. I can't tell that, but at least there is some good sign of people reacting to it. And this has been a the unfortunate thing. And if we look at that, every church I talk to here, they have an idea they give 10% donation. It's kind of a compulsory tax, and that goes, a lot of it goes for this kind of activity. I call it investment. It is not charity. Somehow we have been brainwashed that the missionaries do charitable work. They are selfless. I'm helpless because they have their agenda, right? They have real goal. They have real zeal. And I've seen so many Hindus making donation to Mother Teresa, and even after she's gone, when they visit, they go, and there's Teresa Foundation. They make. I've never seen any Western country recognize any Hindu Swami or Guru or anything like that. Why in the world we have to? Even Kejriwal wanted to attend the canonizing ceremony of Mother Teresa. Why should we really care? We have given them freedom, but we have never told them that we are going to be your servants.
Very true. Very true.
That's an unfortunate thing.
I mean,
So
recently we had a controversy with the Indian Medical Association head. I forgot the name of that person, but he's a Christian person and pushes his own agenda. Kind of, that's in the media out there. Baba Ramdev ji countering that against that. Do you have any perspective on that conflict there?
well, the unfortunate thing is, if you speak against, you are considered as some kind of a fanatic or a radical. And then India is not secular. If somebody thinks India is secular, they don't understand the name of the word. Our constitution is multi-theocratic. It is divisive based on caste, religion, and region. It is not a secular at all. That's the reason they're always playing a appeasement card, right? All the parties play appeasement card. Like Andhra Pradesh wanted to give quota for compulsory salary for missionary for the churches. Why do you have to give their salary because Andhra chief minister happened to be a Christian? And nowadays, what has happened is they don't change their name at all. Their name can be Koti Sreekrishna. That will be 100% Christian.
True. True.
There is a difference between Muslims don't do. The Muslims always change their name. Even if you marry a Muslim, you have to change your name. But these people, there is Purushottam. They have all more Hindu names than Hindus themselves.
That's correct. We get confused and we get fooled by this and those names.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to go to the audience here. Audience, do you have questions for Dr. Koti here? Let me see the threads here. Okay, we do have a Mamta Kabraji raising the hand. Admin, please unmute Mamta Kabraji.
Hey, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. So now the conversion thing, like what is the solution of bringing back those people? What are the steps taken to bring back those people, like how we had Ghar Vapsi and all? So what do we do that? Because we all know what is the conversion problem and the reasons behind it, but how do we now tackle the situation and bring back those people who were like, misguided or misdirected?
That's a good question. We really don't have a straight answer for that. Only awareness, education. Like I told you that the one way, because now people have understood, at least the Bangalore people understood, oh, there was a land which was not owned by church, was sold, and this kind of things. And as I gave you some example of people being proactive, but unfortunately, irrespective of who is ruling us, all of them are into appeasement politics. I've never seen that. That's a first thing they should at least do is make some rules against. Only 3 states, I think, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh have made some laws about conversion. That is very good. And actually, Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha government made a law about when she was chief minister 4 years before her term was over, before she passed away. She made a law that anyone who gets converted to Christianity, they should report to the local government.
And yeah, just in a quick point I want to make, because I have seen that. I'm from Hyderabad. So Hyderabad also has a lot of these problems. I've seen my maids, the house domestic help. So what happens to them is they are, approached by these convert missionaries and they are given money every month. So see, for poor people, money is only the God. Wherever they go, it is only money which matters to them. Be it Christianity or Hinduism, they don't bother about which religion. For them, the need of the hour is money. So they get paid monthly. And this is what my domestic help had told me in India, that they come to their areas, they, propagate them and then get them converted. And then they tell them to encourage other people to convert. So some of them are very strong. They say we will not get converted, but many of them, because of money, they do convert. So that is also happening there.
Yeah, I take money. Now, all my grandparents, they all grew up in Talakadu village. They used to go to listen to Padri. They will get milk powder. None of them converted. You can always take the benefit. There's nothing wrong with it. I think, unfortunately, that's the best way to do. There is nothing wrong in taking.
So this is also the game plan.
You have to convert. Yeah, they are only brainwashing you. But if you go with a clear mind that I'm going only, I go to all sorts of cathedrals I've visited. I don't convert to Christianity. So it's, I think people are to basically, as I said, that some people, what is unfortunate is some very educated, people raised in very traditional Hindu families. Some of them are converted. Their simple solution, they say that, oh, it's very simple religion. You just go there and say Jesus Christ died for your sins and you are saved, and they feel some kind of a unfortunately, when I said there are only 30 million Christians in India, but 300 million Hindus follow very Christian tradition. And I think the Christmas tree, there are more Christmas tree in India than even in America. In Delhi, there is unfortunately, somehow we still have the sepoy mentality. I think anything from the West, we think that it is, we don't understand that the science has nothing to do with Christianity. Europe is a cradle of modern science and technology, but that was going against the Christianity. They even burnt the person who said Earth goes around the sun, right? People don't know that. They think that anything.
I mean, even vernacular medium.
Yeah. So, but don't you think that we can use this strategy of showing the people, like as now the videos are surfacing in the YouTube media, where all the people who had, left Hinduism are coming back. So don't you think we should, as a group, start this message and, bring it across that, see, come back to, that the conversion is not a solution. So this type of awareness and these type of videos where they are coming back. And even like we also now needs to propagate, because all our Indian people who were converted, if you see, most the DNA is Hindu. They are converted to Christianity and Muslim by force or by wish. So telling them and bringing them back is also a need of the hour, which Hindu society has to start. We can't be sitting and waiting, okay, we believe in every God, so we choose your path, but this is acted against us. That's the
I
point.
think Mamtaji, you're correct on that. I think let's take another perspective. Anil Kumarji, co-host, please. Anilji, go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi, thank you. I am from Austin, Texas. The point I want to raise is that we do reconversion and we get the people back to our Sanatan Dharma. One of the issues I have seen is that there is no acceptance, or there is no ecosystem in which they are welcomed. Like if you go to any other religion, primarily there'll be pastor and there'll be people around you to welcome you and to engage you. While in our Sanatan Dharma, I think somewhere people are left to themselves, and they somehow sometimes feel lost as if when they come back. So we have not, our earlier used to be temples and the pundits who used to be kind of welcoming the people who used to be closely involved in the neighborhood, which is lost today. And because of that, people are also lost. So they feel more close to the pastors or the imams who are giving them, preaching them about things, not just religious, but otherwise as well, which is missing in our Sanatan Dharma.
I definitely agree with you. There is no incentive for Garvapsi. Not even a cordial welcome. Only kind of that's a Shuddhi Karikram or whatever it is, just looked upon as some kind of a cult kind of thing. So it is. I think we have to be more open and make it more easy. As I said, when Lord Krishna gave us such simple things, we make it complicated. In fact, something happened. We have a tendency to think that religion has to be complicated.
I think we lost your video.
Have to be.
Yeah, we lost your video, Dr. Koti. Okay, let's take a last question from Lakshman Prajapati ji. I think, can you unmute Lakshman ji?
No, this is fantastic discussion. My pranam again, and this is definitely Ghar Vapsi should be the hottest topic as of now. I totally agree with Mamta ji. This Ghar Vapsi must be, and in next conference, please make it 1/3 of the conference. Please, that's wonderful idea.
I think your feedback will be taken.
Sure, thank you.
Dr. Koti ji, is still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I know something happened. I think I'll be back. I lost my
concluding remark.
I can hear you.
You heard the audience. Any concluding remark from your side? What should be our next course of action as a Indo-American? Yeah.
Unfortunately, we did not make it a practice to teach religion at all, any kind of religion. So we honestly, one of my role has been to present Hinduism in an objective way. Especially the younger generation likes something objective, not too cumbersome. Once you get the objective stuff, what are the minimum things? Like I told you in Gita, how Krishna gave a very simple path, but hardly people think, oh, you have to do this. They think that all the 18 chapters you have to follow for liberation. They don't understand it is Sarvanukula Shastra. You can pick whatever to your taste. They don't do that. I think some of it makes us look our religion very complicated. Actually, it is not.
All right, let's just take one last question. Ravinder Kaulji, host, please unmute Ravinder Kaulji.
Yeah. Go ahead. I just wanted to ask this question because our Koti Sreekrishna ji has been repeating quite often that our religion has been made complicated. It is slightly difficult because Bhagavad Gita has, and at its very base, lot of assumed knowledge. For example, when he says karmani nikara se mahafale shukadachana, So someone asks you, why doesn't he? Why can't I have what's called the desire for phala? Because you don't have phalendriyas, you only have karmendriyas. You can only do karma. But point is that this is an assumption which is already there. Most people do not know that, and therefore we tell him, oh, because it's a pap to have phal ki ichha karna, etc. You know, that doesn't work in today's world. You have to be a little bit more explanatory to the people, and Hindu dharma is actually much more foundational, founded on very strong facts, and that's what needs to be explained.
No, it's very practical, right? Actually, that is one of the badly translated verses. What he's saying is karmani eva adhikarahate ma paleshu kadachana, means you have control only on your action, you have no control on the outcome.
But why? Because of the fact you don't have phalendriyas.
Like a cricket bowler, like when you pitch a ball, when you bowl a ball, you cannot demand a wicket.
No. What I'm saying is that because you do not have control on the phalas, and that has to do with the nature of the human being. But this is not known to ordinary person. He thinks only it is a sthula sharira.
Doesn't matter whether, irrespective of the person, any action we do, the outcome we have no control.
Because of what? Because we don't have phalendriyas. We have control on karma, we have jnanendriyas, we have karmendriyas.
For example, you go and buy a stock, right? You buy Apple stock. You have no control whether it goes up or whether not goes up, don't go up. You have no control on that.
So true.
Only control action, not the outcome.
My question is precise that why is there no control on the phala? Why can't I desire phala?
No, Gita itself answers that.
Because we have no phalendriyas.
No, it answers. Chapter 18, verse 13. Panchaitani mahabaho karanani nibodhame sankhe kritante proktani siddhaye sarvakarmanam. And it says adhishtanam tata karta karanancha pritagvinam. I am
aware of that, but my precise issue is because we have panch karmendriyas and panch jnanendriyas. If I had phalendriyas, I would have controlled phalas also, but I don't have.
You have no control, because very clearly say, because fruit of action depends on the timing, the person doing it, all the tools you have, how you apply the tools, and the unknown trump card.
I understand that, but
I think, Ravindarji, I get why we don't have a control over the false, but I believe, as per the Gita, that you have control over your actions.
Yes, it is, but that is obvious.
That is only we are eligible for, that control of our actions.
Because that is the nature of human body. We have been made like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting thing is, I want to add this. Interestingly, Gita says, Nyayam va viparitam va panchayate tasya. Even if your intention was bad, see 9/11 only Gita can explain how two of the jets performed better than what Bin Laden thought.
Yeah, that I understand, but it has to be explained. That's why it is difficult. Gita takes time to understand.
Dismantle folks will get their karma for back from.
Exactly. It's irrespective of the intention. There's nothing like if you do good, God is behind you. It's not. It's
all right, practical. Great. One last comment from Lakshmanji. Go ahead, Lakshmanji.
To pranam to both of the seniors, if I say something, just forgive me. What I'm saying, from little learning I have, we don't have, sometimes we don't have sukshma drashti to look our sanchit karma. So the every karma has definitive shastra nihit result written already, but because we cannot see the sanchit karma, they are all hidden. And when the outcome comes, it may not be exactly the same as it is written.
No,
because the sanchit karma, because sanchit karma is unknown and it impacting us from the darkness. Jai Sri Krishna.
Known and unknowable. Unknown and unknowable also. Only when you try it. So the idea is do the best you can with what you have and where you are. That's the best anyone can do.
I think I'm very honored to have both of you on the guest, everybody, all the audience over here, but Dr. Koti ji, thank you so much. I learned so much today. Ravindarji, everybody, audience, dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Just would like to add that till masters, when I was an IIT, a friend of mine used to ask me precisely this question. I could never satisfy him because I told him you should not desire the phala of that. So,
yeah, anyway. Thank you so much. Host, please take over this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We'll come after the break on the top of the hour. Can just take a little break, 15 minutes, and then we'll be back.
Okay.